Hi guys, Journalist of the Year in my eyes, Victoria Derbyshire, raised once again the issue of homelessness on her Newsnight show, where the problem of a lack of housing is being tackled by the new Labour government. Victoria played this clip of her interviewing people living on the street from 4 years ago. This winter, like every other one, is going to be very difficult for so many people, and it seems no government is capable or willing to end the blight of homelessness. The charity Crisis says it would cost about £1 billion a year to end homelessness, but at the same time this would result in a massive saving when it comes to healthcare, criminal justice and other public services. It's estimated that homelessness currently costs about £2 billion per annum. Have a listen to this report.
We are in one of the wealthiest parts of London, in one of the wealthiest parts of the UK, in the 6th richest economy in the world. So why is anyone sleeping on the streets at all?
What can we do? What can we do? Who's we? This country, us, me, the government.
Yeah. A lot of us don't want to be out here. We're not bad people.
I know.
That was January 2020, just before COVID.
In the rest of the report, Victoria speaks to the lady and we discover that she's been forced onto the street because of problems within her home. This is heartbreaking. You know, at the same time as that report was taking place, as they were speaking on the side of the street, about a 2-minute walk from there are empty apartments, luxury apartments that have been bought up by the richest people in the world to speculate. You know, the empty apartments, nobody's living in them. They're bought in order to later on flip them for a profit. And there are people who are living on the street because they can't access housing or they can't get into any sort of accommodation. This is a political decision. This is not about money. The government, if they want to find the money, they can. And there is no justification for this situation. As was pointed out at the beginning, it would actually be cheaper to put people into housing, to provide the accommodation they need, than to maintain the current situation. Because homeless people eventually get involved in crime. This is a huge cost for the taxpayer. If you don't care about the people, if you only care about economics, then there's an economic argument for putting people into affordable and social housing. You don't have them end up in prison, which is more expensive. They don't end up in hospital because of the conditions they're living in. This is saving money as well by providing them with reasonable housing. There are other public services that they rely upon because they're homeless. It would make more economic sense. Makes economic sense to put people into houses, not to leave them on the street. Now, I keep banging on about what's the point in having a government if it doesn't look after the health, the education and the welfare of its citizens. What is the point? Honestly, you know, we can't rely on charities all the time. Charities are there because government is failing. There's no justification for the government to allow people, and this is not about Labour, this is not about the Conservatives, this is governments all over the place who are not interested in providing people who are homeless in this century the housing that they need. And as I said, there's the economic argument, but there's of course the social argument. Once again, what is the point in having a government if it doesn't look after people, the most vulnerable people in society? Is it because they don't vote? Is it because they have no power, they have no influence? We have politicians chasing mega donors at the moment, looking out for their interests, not looking out for the interests of the ordinary people, for people who are struggling at the moment. We saw a protest taking place where people were driving their tractors into the centre of London, protesting against inheritance tax. They don't want to pay inheritance tax, while there are people who are dying, literally dying on the street because of the cold, because they're hungry, because they're sick. Society is broken. It's unacceptable. And the politicians ignore it. There are bigger issues to deal with, it seems. And unfortunately, I don't see any of this changing until we have a proper government in place that cares about the most vulnerable in society, that decides, actually, the richest people can take a bit of a hit. We need to take some money from them to have a better society. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.